So let's get started. Thank you for joining us today for the introduction of NovaStar H Series, designed your way. Before we formally started, I would like to share some thoughts for our H Series themes and slogan. Here, it has the H-let logo. H represents our H Series products. Lego means that a customer can design their own processors by using different modular parts, just like Lego. So finally, our slogan for H Series product is the design your way. Hope you like it. Okay. First, let's see this screen. For this screen, could you think a question? How do we manage the screen like this? Here is a solution. Even if we use the most popular controller, M-Control 4K, the system structure would be like this. You can see you have to use the 12 4K controllers to drive the wall in the middle for 8K solutions, and the 2 4K 660 Pro for the side walls. So totally, you have to use the 12 4K controllers to drive these screens. Some of you may wonder if with so many devices, there will be too many cables to manage like this. And you may worry about the synchronized issues. So we don't want our system to have too many devices, too many cables, and also compatible issues, neither the image theory. So we have to use our H series products. With our brand new screen management system H series, those won't be bother you anymore. So let's see the H series products in details. We summarize for 4 points. The first one is the most integrated processor. The second one is the modular design. Third one is it can suit 4K, 8K application easily. And the whole design is extremely user-friendly. Next, let's take a look at the detail one by one. Speaking of the integration, I'm sure many of you are pretty familiar with the Pro HD and VX4S. They are NovaStar first generation all-in-one controllers. The original idea is to integrate the video processing and the 1080p controller together. So this is the first generation all-in-one controller design concept. Let's see the second one. For the second generation all-in-one controller is based on the same design concept to put together a 4K video processor and a 4K video controller in one unit, which is our Nova Pro UHD Junior. But we know with the 5-pixel page getting more popular, we find out the video processing and capacity couldn't really meet the project needs. There are a lot of the screen over the 4K size now in the market. If it is a 8K screens, clients have to use a multiple device to cascade, just like the Pro UHD Junior here. The operation is not so easy and the budget is so high because a lot of the device involved. So our R&D team have been researching how to make the video processing and the loading function more powerful. We'll keep the budget in a good range of NovaStar users. This is the design concept of the H series to integrate as much as in one device. So let's see our H series products. The secondly is the modular design. In order to match the projects better, H series comes with a whole modular design from the inputs to outputs, even for the power supply parts. It is fully configurable, making it possible for clients to select the inputs and outputs according to their own needs. For the inputs, here are available options, including the mainstream one like HDMI 2.0, DP 1.2, HDMI 1.3, 1.4, and 3G and 12G SDI, and DVI, IP stream, and so on. Here are all the input cards available. We have one-way HDMI 2.0 card, four-way 3G SDI, one-way 12G SDI card, two-way DP 1.1 card, and also two-way HDMI 2.0 input card. Here are some notes for the three cards. When using one HDMI 2.0 plus one DP 1.2 card, you can choose either one as the signal source. For the four HDMI input cards, you can choose all four HDMI 1.3 or two HDMI 1.4. For the two HDMI input card, both can work at the same time, but it can only used in the H15 and the H15 Enhanced. This is a special input card which is different with others, because this is the only card which can load more than 4K resolution video source. So please keep in mind. For the output cards, there are two options for the LED control. One is 16 RJ45 plus two fiber slots if you want to need the fiber. The other one is 20 RJ45 if you prefer having more ports to load the large screen. And also we have the MVR card is available. It is used for the multi-view card to multi-view the input and output screens. So this is the modular design for the inputs and outputs. The third one is for the large loading capacity of the H series. For the H series, the biggest loading capacity can reach 208 megapixels. It is amazing, equal to the 20 Nova Pro UHD Junior. And the per output card is the real 4K, and you can configure the device to much even larger as you wish. So this is the feature for the large loading capacity of the H series. Okay, let's see the next one, the user-friendly features. And we will talk it one by one. First one is the free layers. Free layers means the window size can be customized to any size under 8K, and you can put it anywhere in canvas, even to put it in different output cards. And the size and the position are both free. As for the layer quantity, per output cards supports 16 2K layers or 4 4K layers. And the total quantity depends on how many output cards you use. So for example, if you use the 2 output cards, your layer support is 16 plus 2 for the 32 2K layers and 8 4K layers. Is it awesome? The second one is the web page control. You don't need to install the app on PC. All the configuration can be done in browser via its IP address. And also see the web page user interface. It is very user friendly. For the left side, you will show the video source connected, and the right part is a canvas for the configuration. You can do the layer settings, programming, MVR settings, and user settings. All can be done through the web page easily. So it is very convenient for the customer to configure the H series products. Besides, there is also the two helpful features I want to emphasize here. The first one is for the input cropping. So when you want to show some creative display by using one same signals for the different area of the signal source, you can use this function to create multiple crops of the same video. And the other one is for the multi-user accounts management. You can assign the access to specific web page for the specific users. For example, if you want anyone who can just to monitor the preview functions, you can only give him the access to monitor the preview card. Also, just give him the access to the configuration assignment. So it is very easily for the customer to use the web page control multi-user functions. The third feature is the presets. Here you can save up 2,000 presets. So you have the enough presets for you to save your scenario where you want to use that directly to switch in your different configured presets. And the fading and the fade out time can be customized from the 0 to 1 seconds. And in addition, you will be able to monitor the inputs and outputs on the front panels or through the software. If you get an MVR card, you can also connect it to a LCD for preview and monitors. It gives you the 8 input pins, full motion web video outputs, and input streams. So this is the amazing features for the H series. Besides these features, if you want to realize the long distance transmission solutions, H series also can meet you, because we also have the fiber solutions for the H series. As for the fiber solution of H series, there are two types of the fiber box to work with. One is our CVT 4K. Another one is our new fiber box, CVT 10. For CVT 4K, one SFP can handle 8 Ethernet ports. 2 fiber work with the H series output card together to handle 16 Ethernet outputs to load 1 4K screens. And for the CVT 10, it has 2 modes. One, when working with the 16 Ethernet plus 2 fiber output card, each fiber handle 8 Ethernet ports. You can see the picture here. The H series goes out to the fiber directly, then goes to the 2 CVT10 because the 16 has the fiber output. So you can directly to use the fiber goes to the CVT10. Another one is to for the another mode that's the one fiber can handle 10 Ethernet outputs for the CVT10. When you use our 20 Ethernet output card of the H series, each fiber can handle 10 ports. Here you have to use the 4 CVT10 box because the 20 Ethernet output don't have the fiber outputs. So you have to use two firstly to convert the Ethernet cables to the fiber firstly. So keep in mind for the CVT10 fiber converters, since it is our new fiber solutions. It have the two modes. One is the equal to the 8 Ethernet output. Another one is for the 10 Ethernet output. And beside the fiber solutions, we also have the complete backup solutions. For the H series, you can do the port-to-port backup and also card-to-card backup. But besides, you can also do the device backup. This is the new features. It have never realized before in any NovaStar products in past. So this is the new feature for H series. And for this device backup solutions, it would help you to make the whole system secured from the input to output. You can see here, for the input source, it also have the backup. So it will make your whole system to become more stable and stable. When you do the device in backup, please make sure to select the enable the device backup in the web page. This would tell the system we have the input backup from the different devices. And the LCT software setting is designed for the LED output backup settings. So this is the H series completely backup solutions. So after listening to the backup solutions, you would not worry about the stable of your projects anymore. And beside the fiber solutions and also the backup solutions, H series and also can be used for a lot of the applications. For example, for the XR applications, we have already also added some new features to H series in order to meet the XR application scenario, such as the Genlock phase offset functions, frame multiplication functions, high frame rate functions. So next, let's see these features one by one. The first one is the Genlock phase offset functions. We know that many video cameras in market don't have the phase offset adjustment functions. So when you're using this camera to shoot, even with the controller synchronized, there may be moving black lights issues. Of course, you can buy the cameras with the high-end cameras where the price is extremely high and they add this function to the hardware. But here, we also add this function to our hardware, H series, that would perfectly adapt to the mainstream video cameras for shooting, eliminating black lights, and optimizing the shooting effect. And when you use this function, it is also very easy to operate. You can operate in the web page control, and you can see the access to enable these functions and adjust the phase offset here. Next one is the frame multiplication. According to the relationship between the video camera exposure time and the display frame rate, combination of appropriate shutter angle and the frame rate can make the image show completely without flickering. So the function of the frame multiplication can realize the repeated output of frame rate, achieving the purpose of of frame rate expansions. Now we support 2 times or 4 times to make sure the shooting without flickering. The next one is for the high frame rate functions. Now our H series can support up to 144 Hertz, which can solve the ghost and the dragging issue with shooting the high-speed moving objects. And besides these features, we also have the other feature like the low latency, synchronized 3D and HDR. And these features we already talk a lot in the other products. So we would not talk more here. If you would like to know, you can contact with us and we will give you the detail about these features. So since we have already know all the features of this H series, here is a selection guide for all the options. So you can see we have the H2, H5, H9, H15, and H5 Enhanced. The number refers here to the physical size of the rack of the chassis. For example, the H2 means 2U equipment, and the H5 means 5U equipment. And for the maximum card, input card, for the H2, it is 4. It means it can maximally install 4 input cards. And for the maximum output card, for H2, it is 2. And that means it supports to install maximum 2 16 Ethernet output card or 20 Ethernet output card. And for the maximum layers, here means for the 2K layers. You know, for each output card, it supports 16 layers. So here, since H2 has the 2 Ethernet output card, so that means it have the support 32 maximum layers. So the same thing for the H5, H9, H15, and the H15 Enhanced. Here, for the layer, I also want to mention about that H5 Enhanced, because it is special comparing to the others, H2, H5, H9, H15. The maximum layer for the H5 Enhanced output card is 10, not 16. So the maximum layer for the H15 Enhanced is the same as the H15. It is 160. So keep in mind for the specials. The last one is for the maximum loading capacities. So here we calculate in the condition that we configure for all the 20 Ethernet output card. So for the maximum loading capacity of H2 is the 20 meters, and for the H5 it is 36 megapixels, and also for the H15 Enhanced it is 208 megapixels. So you cannot imagine that one device can load so large loading capacities. So this is a selection guide of all the options of H series. By knowing that, it will help you to easily to select the correct H series product for your project. And the last, I'd like to share some real cases recently. Mostly they used in the XR studios, meeting room, commanding room, indoor applications. And for these cases, it is used for the XR studios, and it is drive by a H9 processors. And this one is the wall with a different pixel pitch screens, and it is a commander room and all drive by H5 processors. So you cannot imagine that the one H5 can drive so large screens. So this is all the presentation of the H series introductions.